in this bill to the House. Thank you.
The Honourable Tim Macindoe.
Kia ora, Madam Speaker. Tim koutou te whare. Madam Speaker, I only joined the Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade Committee a few weeks ago, and so I didn't have an opportunity to hear the submissions on this bill, and I want to acknowledge those who were previously on the committee who did the detailed work. I had the impression when I joined the committee that it was a bill that enjoyed unanimous support, and I was certainly impressed by the way that the whole process had been chaired by Simon O'Connor. What struck me about it as I listened to it, well, what reasonable, law-abiding, self-respecting New Zealander wouldn't support a bill whose overarching purpose is to regulate the brokering of arms and military equipment to help prevent arms ending up in the wrong hands? And of course that is what it's about, and it's about New Zealand meeting our international obligations in an ever-changing security environment. And so it's a serious topic, and I do commend all the members of the committee for the work they did. However, it was only then that I discovered that the description I've just given of New Zealanders may not include the current Minister of Defence, because what he had to say about the bill in opposition just 8 months ago was poles apart from the view. The Honourable Ron Mark, and the views that he was expressing then are poles apart from the views that have been expressed in this House by all members of the government before. But of course, that is because now it's a Labour New Zealand First Greens bill, overlooking the fact that yet again here we are debating a bill that was actually a national bill introduced by the Honourable Jerry Brownlee as Foreign Minister, and he did a very fine job. Now, Madam Speaker, this afternoon I did something I've tried to do in the past and always failed, and that was to listen very carefully to the Foreign Minister and to try to discern some serious intent and something of real weight and content to take from his speech. And again, I was left fairly disappointed. But he did say at one stage that this is a very serious issue in which fundamental human rights are at stake. Well, that's certainly true. And he also made the point that New Zealand is a strong supporter of the International Arms Trade Treaty, as a result of which he had no hesitation in commending this bill to the House. Well, those are two very good things. I had hoped that the Honourable David Parker, who was the next Minister to speak, might be a little bit more enlightening, but I have to say his speech reminded me of one of the finer contributions that our former colleague Stephen Browning used to deliver here, and I very much doubt that his oratory or his Hansard transcript will ever feature in one of the records of the great parliamentary speeches of the 21st century. But nevertheless, Madam Speaker, it is, as I say, a serious issue. So it's worth putting on the record that the party that is now promoting this bill said just 8 months ago that New Zealand First says a new act to regulate arms brokering isn't necessary. Well, if it wasn't necessary 8 months ago, now why is it something that this Parliament is debating in the very first year of the new government's term of office? It's not something that they push down the order paper thinking, oh, well, we'll get up to it if there's a rainy day and we get a bit late. Here they are in their first term of office and they're already putting it. The real story here, he said, is that New Zealanders have had enough of national ducking the real matters of importance. Well, apparently we were ducking the matters of importance by promoting this bill, and now...
I'd just like to say to the member that this is the third speaker who has referred to what a previous member of this, a member of this House has said, and I just want to refer you back to the bill. This is the second reading speech, and the expectation is that it is a review of what the Select Committee found in their deliberations. So if I could bring you back to that process, thank you.
You're quite right, Madam Speaker, and so I will simply, in responding to that point, make the point that clearly the Minister has now decided, as a result of the Select Committee's work, as a result of the submissions, that something that he previously said was of no national significance whatsoever is so important that we should be debating it right now, and for that reason I support him, and let's get on with it.
I understand this is a split call. The Honourable Willie Jackson.
Kia ora, Madam Speaker. Tuatahi e tikana ki te mihi ki tō tātou kuia, Auntie Lou Cook, kātahi anō kua hinga.